Imagine this. You're on vacation sipping your iced coffee in a beautiful foreign country and suddenly, bam! You're in handcuffs for chewing gum. Yes, chewing gum. Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around, because today we're uncovering the countries with the strictest laws in the world. Some of these laws might make sense, but others, let's just say, you'll think twice before packing your bags. From life-changing fines to prison sentences for what seems like everyday actions, these countries don't mess around when it comes to the rules. Whether you're a frequent flyer or planning your first international trip, this is the kind of information that could literally save you from a one-way trip to a local jail. Let's dive into the top countries with the strictest laws and some of the bizarre rules you'll want to avoid breaking. Spoiler alert, one involves hugging in public. First up, Singapore. Known for its spotless streets and futuristic architecture, Singapore also has one of the strictest sets of laws in the world. Remember that chewing gum incident? That's no urban legend. In Singapore, chewing gum is illegal unless it's prescribed by a doctor. You heard that right. Chewing gum has a medical clause. And if you're thinking, what's the big deal about gum? Consider this. The government banned it to keep the streets clean and public infrastructure pristine. But don't worry, there's more. Stick around because Singapore's other laws will leave you speechless. Don't even think about littering or jaywalking. A small offense can lead to hefty fines or even public caning. Yes, public caning still exists. The country prides itself on order, and these laws ensure that it stays that way. If you're visiting Singapore, keep your gum at home and your trash in your pocket. And hey, look on the bright side. You'll never step in anything sticky on the sidewalk. By the way, later on, we'll talk about a country where hugging someone can land you in jail, so stay tuned. Next stop, Saudi Arabia. This Middle Eastern powerhouse has laws that reflect its deep-rooted traditions and strict interpretations of Sharia law. Here, public behavior is heavily monitored. For example, dressing immodestly can get you fined or worse. So leave those ripped jeans at home. But the strictness doesn't stop there. Are you someone who likes to jam out to music in public? Well, be careful. Certain behaviors deemed too disruptive can also be penalized. Oh, and PDA, public displays of affection, are a big no-no. Holding hands or hugging in public could land you in serious trouble. If you're thinking about a romantic getaway here, just know it might feel more like a long-distance relationship, even while you're together. Here's a fun fact. In Saudi Arabia, even hosting a mixed-gender gathering without a permit could cause legal issues. So, if you're visiting, it's essential to know and respect their rules. Think of it as part of the adventure. Moving on to North Korea, and honestly, the less said about breaking laws here, the better. Why? Because breaking even the smallest law in North Korea could result in dire consequences. Visitors are monitored constantly. Taking photos of off-limits areas or disrespecting a government symbol can get you arrested faster than you can say Kim Jong-un. And let's not forget the 3 generations of punishment rule. Yes, if you break a major law, your children and grandchildren could pay the price too. Imagine your grandkids asking why they're in trouble, and you have to explain it's because you took a selfie in the wrong spot. It's a chilling thought, but it's real. And don't go anywhere, because the next country has a law so strict, it'll make you question your everyday habits. Thailand is a beautiful country, but it's also home to some strict and unique laws. The most notable? Their lèse-majesté laws, which make it illegal to insult the monarchy. This includes making fun of the king, defacing currency with his image, or even accidentally stepping on a coin. Yes, you can go to jail for stepping on a coin. And before you think, well, I'll just be extra careful. Remember that even criticizing these laws can land you in hot water. But it's not all bad news. Thailand's strict laws mean you'll find it one of the safest countries to visit. Just make sure you treat their culture and monarchy with the utmost respect. Oh, and keep those feet off the money. And don't miss what's coming up, a country where dancing in public can cause legal trouble. Iran is another country where cultural sensitivity isn't optional. Women, including tourists, are required to wear a hijab in public, and there are strict rules about what men and women can wear. But that's just the start. Even photography is tightly controlled here. Taking pictures of government buildings, military sites, or even certain public spaces can result in legal trouble. Some tourists have faced fines or confiscation of their cameras simply for snapping what seemed like innocent shots. It's always best to ask for permission or research photography guidelines beforehand to avoid trouble. Public dancing, drinking alcohol, or even listening to certain music can get you into hot water. Celebrating a special occasion with loud music or any form of dancing in public is often seen as disrespectful and could attract unwanted attention. And let's not forget the social media angle. Posting any content that could be perceived as critical of the government or its laws is a risky move. If you're thinking about expressing yourself through TikTok dances while visiting Iran, think again. If you're visiting Iran, it's essential to understand and respect their rules, even if they seem unusual to you. Think of it as a way to immerse yourself in the culture, just, quietly. And if you thought that was strict, wait until we talk about a country where even tattoos can limit your experience. Japan might not seem like it belongs on this list, but its laws are stricter than you might think. Drug possession, even something as small as cannabis, is a massive no-go here. The country's zero-tolerance policy means that even a trace amount could land you in prison or get you permanently banned from entering Japan. Celebrities and athletes have faced lifetime bans over past infractions, no matter how minor they seemed in their home countries. So think twice before bringing any prescription medication. Even some over-the-counter drugs are prohibited without proper documentation. And don't forget, tattoos. Many public baths and hot springs, known as onsen, will deny you entry if you're inked. Tattoos in Japan are historically associated with the Yakuza, the country's organized crime syndicates, which is why many establishments have a strict no-tattoo policy. While some tourist-friendly places are starting to relax these rules, it's still common to see signs barring entry to anyone with visible ink. For tattooed travelers, booking private onsens might be your best bet. Even something as simple as littering can result in a hefty fine, as Japan's strict waste management laws prioritize cleanliness and recycling. And if you're planning on driving, remember that the legal blood alcohol limit is effectively 0. Drinking even a small amount before getting behind the wheel could lead to severe penalties. But don't let the rules scare you. Following them is part of the adventure and shows respect for the local culture. So when in Japan, keep it clean, literally and figuratively. So there you have it, the countries with the strictest laws in the world. Some of these laws might seem extreme, but they're often rooted in history, culture, and a desire for order. Whether you're traveling for fun or business, understanding and respecting these rules is the best way to stay out of trouble. And if there's one takeaway here, it's this. When in doubt, Google the local laws before you go. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your travel buddies. And let us know in the comments, which country's laws surprised you the most? Or have you ever broken a bizarre law while traveling? We'd love to hear your stories.